everybody, and thanks for joining us for this special 3 News at Noon special report. I'm Dave Chudowski alongside Maureen Kaya. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. That is a live look at downtown from our CSU Skycam. And we have been keeping you up to date on air and online all morning. We have extensive team coverage for you from the east side to the west side, south side. We are going to get a check of all of the conditions that you're seeing as you're going throughout the day.
Absolutely. We are going to check in with Lindsey Buckingham and Brandon Simmons in a moment as they are braving the conditions out there right now. But first, we're going to stay warm inside as we check in with our weather team. Peyton Domschke, Holly Strano, hard at work this morning. Let's start with Holly. What are we looking at right now?
And we've got our Chief Betsy in the Weather Center, too. I mean, we've been throughout the last, I feel like I could say, week watching this storm, and we are still looking at some very heavy snow, and as expected, it's the second wave. Dave and Maureen, and welcome to you at home. It's really coming down. So where you see those darker blues is where we're really getting that heavier snow, moderate to heavy. We're still getting that mix in areas that we expected around Dover and New Philadelphia. So as we do some closer views for you from Canton up through North Canton, very moderate to a heavy snow and steady at that. So travel is going to be extremely slow and treacherous along 77 up through Akron. We've got snow coming down pretty hard in Copley at this point, through Wadsworth, and through our suburbs we're seeing it too. And you know, it's going to be through the afternoon. Something that we've been emphasizing so much with this storm system is that it's not really limited to one day part. A lot of you earlier, if you've been with us throughout the morning and now into the early afternoon, have been saying, well, I mean, wait, you know, we have this much, but it's not the numbers, it's the impact, and it's all about the timing. So some of you might have a third shift to head out to this afternoon, or a meeting that could very well be canceled because of the snow. On the west side, we're seeing it from Vermilion straight on through Avon and Avon Lake. Lorraine's getting snowed on pretty hard. Oberlin is too. And taking a look at the wind profile, it is blustery. So blowing, drifting snow, reduced visibility, and it's also doing a lot to our temperatures. Although we're still in the 20s from earlier, our wind chill values are in the low to mid-teens right now. So making for some really, you know, very blustery conditions across all of Northeast Ohio. And the storm system in itself has been such a focus in general, because I think, you know, to all meteorologists and to really all of you, if you look at how expansive this thing is, I mean, from New England back through Texas, and the moisture and what we have to work with still. So from here, I toss it over to my friend Peyton, who's been keeping a close eye on it through this morning. Yeah. We've got a lot of hours ahead of us yet.
We still do, and this is an expansive storm, as you saw Holly mention, but I do want to drill home this point here, that the fact that you're seeing some of these darker shades of blue, yes, you might think, okay, at first glance, it's heavy snow, but it is also a little bit of that mixing in there too. So wet snowflakes definitely involved, but we are starting to see, and we are going to continue to see, a prolonged sleet and icing event for some of our southern counties. And I show you this correlation coefficient map. It's a big word, I know, but don't get used to it. We're going to nerd out together here. It is something we can look at in a winter weather event setup to show you different precip types that are happening. So everywhere in this red shade, a little bit closer to the lake, that is snowfall. Everywhere a little bit farther south is seeing the mixing, and that is why those totals there are going to be less. Something else you'll notice when you head out the door is visibility has dropped. Now, this is something that you can simply see just looking out your window, but if you have to travel, this is going to be an issue. If you don't have to travel, please stay at home. So in your National Zymark hour-by-hour forecast, I mentioned the mixing. It is going to be prolonged. This is going to continue for those southern counties. For us, though, a little bit closer to the lake, as I mentioned, it is going to be snow, and it is going to get intense here. Those snowfall rates will continue to be heaviest this afternoon, early this evening, and we do not see any gradual clearing until late tonight, until this thing really starts to sweep out of the picture. But that is going to bring changes into the day even tomorrow. So yes, we'll see some lingering scattered snow as we kickstart your Friday, but there's an Arctic blast here that we're going to chat about in depth and a little bit more and time out the rest of your weekend in just a few. Maureen, Dave.
Okay, Peyton, thank you. Boy, there are so many things to think about with a storm like this, but at the top of the list, Peyton just mentioned traveling? What are the roads like?
Yeah, and we've been watching that all morning because we've just seen such a mix of, first it was the ice, then it was the snow. And Danielle, you have been tracking it all morning. You said we started out with some accidents. How is it looking on the roads now?
Oh, in the turnpike, it is not looking good because we did have the turnpike westbound shut down between 58 and Baumhart Road. That's in Lorain County in the Amherst area. I just checked the turnpike Twitter. They said that it's now open, but multiple lanes remain closed. Again, that's because of that crash. We already have the ban on large vehicles on the turnpike. So some of you may be like, hey, I don't even want to go anywhere near that. So what you can do is take State Route 2 as your detour option, which is north of the turnpike. Let's take a look there. You can see here, this is I-90 at Murray Ridge Road. So you can see what conditions look like there. Now they turned the camera so you can't see the traffic, but as you can see, slick driving conditions, and you see the red on the traffic map. Right now, we are seeing your average speed right now, 11 miles per hour on the turnpike westbound near I-90. So Maureen and Dave, it's a slow go out there in Lorain County.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And hopefully everybody heeds warning. If you don't have to head out on the roads, please don't. But some people don't have that luxury. They have to go out. And so you also want to know not only how the highways are looking, but some of those side streets, because that's usually the next thing they clean up.
Yeah, we have a combination of both coming up right now, and Danielle just talked about Lorain. Not too far from there, Westlake, that's where Lindsey Buckingham has been all morning long. Lindsey, what's the situation like now?
Hey guys, how are you doing? Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a changing situation. We got out here about 4:30 in the morning. We had a lot of flurries coming our way. Since then, it's been a kind of changing snow as well. We had some of the icy stuff coming our way, then the fluffy stuff. Now we're back to that steady stream again of flurries. Another thing that has changed is the wind. I want to show you something right now. You see on the ground here, you see some grassy patches and then some big snowy patches. I believe it because I'll tell you what, we are feeling that wind big time. I'm going to show you the road conditions right behind me on Sperry Road. That's another thing we've seen changed here. We have seen quite a few plows. They clear out the roads and then it accumulates again. But the road conditions are mixed. You're going to see a slushy mix on the ground as well as some ice on there too because of the dropping temps. And I want to show you one other thing. Because if you have had your car sitting outside this morning or you have to head out to work, make sure you're not just doing this with your windshield and clearing it out. Because the problem is, because of that mix that Peyton and Holly were talking about, some of this has built up on your windshield. So when it tries to wipe it off, it's really just smearing more wet stuff. So it makes it tough to drive. So make sure you clear off your windshield and then just get inside and get warm. Maureen and Dave, that's exactly what I'd like to do right now. But I'll tell you what, it's been fun hanging out with you all morning.
You're getting there. You're almost there, Lindsey. Yeah, I hate when that happens with the windshield wipers, no doubt. So that's some good advice. Listen, you know Cleveland, when the weather happens, sometimes some people get this, some people don't get anything like at all. This is equal opportunity.
This really is. And, you know, the East Side has that reputation of getting just a wallop. So Brandon Simmons is live with us in Orange Village, and you're at 271 in Chagrin. You got a chance to see how the roads are doing there?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you all about it. Well, it's getting a little worse. And as you talk about getting walloped, I think I'm getting it right in the face right now. This weather really is unforgiving if you have to stand out here. But behind us, you can see the roads are pretty clear. And as usual, we do have ODOT working. They have their 300 plows out on the roads across Northeast Ohio. And you can see the roads are pretty clear here. But I want to give you a look at some other areas. In this first video, this is just about an hour and a half ago. I-77 headed to 480 East. This is headed toward Valley View Bridge. You can see the roads are really slushy there. Obviously, it's really slow moving because we really don't want anybody sliding off the side of the road, especially as we get to those bridges. We know the bridge is ice first. We always get those warnings from ODOT to take it nice and slow when you get into those areas. Now, another video I want to show you. This is starting in Streetsboro. It's I-480 headed eastbound. First off, we had one car that slid right off the side of the road. You can see they were out getting some help. Remember, too, as you're driving, and you want to move over for those people who have their hazards flashing, or if you see cars pulled off to the side of the road. And then as you can see, 271 headed northbound back towards where we are located right now. This is in the Bedford area. Obviously, you can't even see the lane lines at times, so it's really important that you take it slow because these conditions are going to get worse. Now back here on the roads, as I said, nice and clear here right now. We're seeing traffic move along steadily, but of course we do expect it to get a little worse as we move throughout the day. So we want you to be careful. And as we've been telling you, if you can stay home, go ahead and do just that. Dave, Maureen.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much for that live look. Go get warm. And speaking of your cars, ODOT needs to get these streets cleared. So several communities have snow parking bans in place. Most began early this morning. Some will only go into effect if the snow reaches a certain amount. So make sure you check out WKYC.com for that full list and details. We have them community by community.
And right now, First Energy is reporting 500 power outages right now. Crews are working hard to restore those that have been lost as the snow continues to come down. And there are already hundreds of school closings for tomorrow. You can see those alerts scrolling on the bottom of your screen. For the full list, you can go to WKYC.com and get the WKYC app. That would probably be a good move right now. And stick with WKYC on air with our extensive team coverage all day long. And stick with us through the next half hour as our team coverage continues to follow this storm.
And before we head to break, we want to give you a live look over at Public Square. Dave and I have been downtown all morning. We've been looking out the window. It has just been picking up. The snow has just been getting thicker and thicker. We're going to be right back in a minute with more snow coverage.
Our drivers will work every shift around the clock until all the roads are clear. We will continue to monitor the weather and communicate with you frequently on social media, through text alerts and phone calls during the storm.
Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb promising that the city will be taken care of throughout this storm. Last snowstorm, streets were a mess, no doubt, and there will be additional plows specifically targeting those neighborhood streets. The others focus on main streets.
And remember, you can see where the snow plows are around in Cleveland. You can follow the city's new plow tracker map. You see it right there. We can send you a link right to your phone, too, by texting the word plow to 216-344-3300. Again, that is a text, not a phone call. Somebody picks up the phone. You don't get that information sent to you when somebody answers the phone. All right, time right now is 12:13. We've been keeping you informed on the conditions all day long, both on air and online.
Yeah, our team coverage includes meteorologist Holly Strano and Peyton Domschke. And I guess what we want to know, Holly, it's been one of those situations where we have been saying it changes throughout the day.
And will continue to at times. So as we start with a look at some of the updates that we'll be talking about, the snow will continue to ramp up through this afternoon. Temperatures will continue to fall and rates of snowfall moderate to heavy clear on through the evening. So you're looking at impact through the afternoon and evening commutes. So if you've got loved ones that have obviously gone to work today, you could expect that those commutes are going to take them a lot longer. And we are seeing a lot of those darker blues on the map indicating that heavier wet snow. So we had anticipated that, and the rate of fall is quite impressive and could be, upwards of an inch an hour in some of these spots. We're also seeing that area of mixed precipitation further south. So we'll focus in on these areas with the heavier snow in a moment. But first, kind of just taking you around all of Northeast Ohio, because it is really at this point wall to wall. Whereas earlier this morning, we had a lot of breaks happening. So it's not scattered at this point. It's lighter through our west and east suburbs, that's for sure. But we're definitely seeing a steady snow on the west side as we take you back towards Sandusky, Vermilion, through Lorain County, into Oberlin. Those of you in Grafton, good afternoon. Hopefully you're cozy with a nice cup of chicken soup, right? Something in the crock pot. And to the east, it's more of the same. So through Mentor and through all the east suburbs, from University Heights and over into Gates Mills and Pepper Pike, through the Solon area, Chagrin Falls, Bainbridge, all getting snow and very steady snow. And then here's what I was showing you just a moment ago. We've got that heavier snow from Brunswick around 303 there into Medina. And then east into Summit County, we're seeing more heavy snow, Copley, Akron, Barberton, and then into Stark County, it's a mix. They're right on that border for the southern part of the county. Canton is seeing the heavier snow. And then as you get further south into New Philadelphia and Dover, you continue to see that mix and some of that icy weather. It is blustery, and between the snow and the wind, we are seeing visibility reduced all across Northeast Ohio. So everywhere from downtown through Elyria and south into Worcester, Mansfield, Ashtabula, look at those visibilities. I mean, they're literally under a mile. So think about that as you consider any kind of commutes. And if you can keep it at home, it's the best. If you have to go out, you just have to allow extra time. Temperatures are in the 20s, wind chills are in the teens. And you look all along this path here, and we have got a lot of hours ahead of us to deal with this. So this is going to impact the rest of the afternoon and those evening commutes, as I mentioned. So from there to Peyton, and Peyton, like I said, with that being the case, evening commutes home from work and things like that, we're going to be looking at a lot of slow drives.
Yeah, and things are going to be messy, and the trajectory of this storm is basically just continuing to come at Northeast Ohio. And you can see a division of where the persistent moderate to heavy snowfall is happening to a dividing line. There's a sharp cutoff here when it comes to the transition from the wintry mix to even the rain on the other side of it. We are not seeing the rainfall here locally. We are seeing anything that comes in the form of snowflakes to sleet to a little bit of ice. The zones a little bit farther south, Carroll County, Tuscarawas County, even parts of Stark and Holmes County at the moment are seeing the mixing. And now I have a strong bet here that part of Wayne County, even Ashland County, also seeing a little mixing happening here because of a very specific product we can look at. This is correlation coefficient. So I know it's a big word. We actually use this graphic in particular as a way to kind of analyze severe weather. And that can be summer weather, but it can also be winter weather. And we look at it here to divide precipitation types. And that's exactly what this is honing in on. The farther north you are, that means snow in the red, but the orange tones that start to pop on up through Wayne, Stark, even parts of southern Summit County right now, that is where you're seeing a little of the mix here. So that is going to be a prolonged event. So not only is visibility dropped, that is a tricky situation if you have to get out on the roads, but the trickiest of situations is going to be nailing down the totals here. With this system, as it moves along, those southern counties are going to see the mixing, which means their totals are going to be less. So in your National Zymer hour-by-hour forecast, the thing is here, we don't see a let-up closer to the lake when it comes to heavy snowfall rates until we approach this evening and into early tomorrow morning. Scattered snow is still going to persist all the way through midnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Before we start to see the cloud cover with us, it's going to continue. So when I talk about totals here, I'm talking about the entire storm. So start to finish. That means yesterday all the way through tomorrow morning. Some of those zones closer to the lake, 8 to 11 inches possible. We could see some isolated higher totals, but the farther south where that gradient sets on up, that's where we will see less. So potentially 5 to 8, 2 to 5. So don't get caught up in the numbers. The impacts are the same regardless. And those heavy snowfall rates persist this afternoon and this evening. As I already mentioned, things will be breezy. That means we have howling winds, blowing snow, snow drifts. We could see gusts anywhere from about 30 to 40 miles per hour. And then wind chills. Arctic air is surging back into place, which means things are going to feel like the single digits. And in your Union Home Mortgage extended forecast here, we could even see a wind chill advisory be issued Friday into Saturday because overnight lows super single digits here. I'm talking 2 degrees, most of us sub-zero at times. The next chance we get into the 30s happens Sunday with a little bit of sunshine, and we could all use a little sunshine right now, Danielle. How are the roads looking at this very moment?
Oh boy, they continue to deteriorate. I tell you, I'm saying oh boy a lot this morning, but it's worth it because I told you about the turnpike being shut down and reopening in Lorain County. Now we have reports that 76 westbound is closed in Akron between the Kenmore Boulevard and 277 because of a crash. Now, here's the live camera in the area, and you do see traffic on both sides of the highway. Again, that may be just how ODOT has turned the camera. So 76 westbound, our partners at Total Traffic reporting it closed, so you have to get off at Battles Avenue. And don't forget, we do have multiple lanes closed on the turnpike westbound in Lorain County because of a crash there near State Route 58, Maureen.
Right. Danielle, thank you. And take it from the people who have been up all night. ODOT has been out on the roads all night long, making sure that they clear as you travel. ODOT Cleveland tweeted an update at 8 a.m. saying that the roads were slow moving this morning and that over 70 trucks remained on the roads in the area. They're also reminding people who are out not to crowd the plow.
And it's not just the roadways dealing with issues. With today's severe weather comes flight cancellations and delays as expected. As of right now, there are over 100 flights canceled out of Cleveland Hopkins, which is about 72% of today's total flights. Throughout the entire country, over 4,400 flights have been canceled.
It's believable when you see that line that the storm's hitting. Yeah. Well, we'll have more weather coverage coming up in just a minute. Stay with us on air, online, all day long.
Before we go, here's a live look at Cedar Point. Look at that snowy amusement park right now. Kind of a roller coaster kind of day, right? We'll be back in a minute. We are back here with our special noon coverage as we get a live look at the Port of Lorain. Just like everywhere else, dealing with the snow here this morning. And many of you have been sending us pictures and videos all day long of what you've been seeing outside.
And we want to share what you are seeing. So Stephanie Haney is live from her home. And Stephanie, I hope that you've been getting a lot of good viewer submissions for us.
Oh yeah, Maureen, they are coming in. People do love to share those wintry photos, and we do have a lot of them coming in. We want you to keep them coming our way. But first, let's show you what we got so far. Downtown Cleveland is absolutely beautiful. We're looking at a very snowy downtown Cleveland with a photo coming in from our executive producer, Allison Gervin. She sent us this video as well. It is starting to stack up out there, you guys. Now, take a look at these other photos. We've got some puppies who are loving the snow. We have Luca, Cosmo, and Casanova Genovese, what a name, at James Garfield Park in Menor. We've got my pup, Harry Winston. He is avoiding the snow, hiding by the cars. He might look a little bit like a deer in the headlights because he does not love the snow, but there are a few real deer out there. These ones were spotted by John Pedmo in Medina. You know, it is a lot easier to see the deer around here when it is snowy out. It's a little dark here, but you can definitely see them there. And you know, we do need to be careful out there. Tim Connors is already on the job clearing snow with that snowblower in Westlake, and the professionals are hard at work too. Here is photographic evidence. This comes from Rita Kavanaugh in Highland Heights. A big thank you to everyone out there running those plows and those salt trucks today. As I said, please keep those photos and those videos coming. You can text us your photos at 216-344-3300. Send us your videos and your photos in the WKYC app. And if you're posting online, use that hashtag 3weather. Dave, Maureen, it's only going to be stacking up more out there, so we want to see what it's looking like for everybody.
Right. And at least it's safe to kind of step outside, grab that selfie, grab that photo op with the deer, whatever it takes. Stephanie, thank you so much. Well, with the snow, you can use the City of Cleveland's new tracker to see where the snow plows have been, especially if you're living or working in downtown Cleveland. We can send you a link straight to your phone. Text the word plow, P-L-O-W, to 216-344-3300. Again, that is a text, not a call.
Several communities have already activated snow parking bans. That means cars parked on the street could be ticketed and towed. So far, most began yesterday evening or early this morning. Some will only go into effect if the snow reaches a certain amount. Make sure to check WKYC.com for the full list and details by community. If Danielle's taking a selfie, it's with the traffic computer, because boy.
All right. I've been stationed over there all morning long since 3 a.m. Now we take a look 76 at 277 in the Akron area, because when you see the snow coming down here, please be careful as you are commuting. Our partners at Total Traffic are reporting 76 westbound is closed between Kenmore Boulevard and 277 in the Akron area because of a crash. You're going to have to exit at Battles. Now, we do have the Turnpike westbound. It's not closed anymore, but multiple lanes are closed because of a crash. So please be careful. Here's what the weather map looks like on top of the traffic map. So everyone needs to take it slow. We're all dealing with slick driving conditions. Holly and Peyton, here's what it looks like outside right now in downtown Cleveland, Westlake, I-90, I-271, Warrensville Heights, sort of where Brandon was, Medina, 71 at 271, North Canton, frozen over, that camera there, 77 near the Akron-Canton Airport, and Akron, State Route 8 at Perkins Street near the University of Akron.
Okay, Danielle, thanks for keeping us up to date. And as we get weather on the go here at 12:26, again, an overview for you if you're just tuning in, hopefully enjoying some lunch in the warmth of your home, which is the best place to be today, as we've been emphasizing. We do have a lot of heavier wet snow moving in. Snowfall rates are really intensifying across all of Northeast Ohio, and we're still dealing with that area of mixed precipitation to the south, which has been very consistent. So we are looking at those areas that are more or less just south of the lakeshore as far as heavier snow, and we'll be tracking it throughout the rest of the day. Peyton's going to be here, Betsy's going to be here, Jason's here, and there's a lot more of this storm for us to get through before we're done with it. So we've been emphasizing that this is going to be something that impacts the evening commute in a very big way. So if your loved ones are at work today, be expecting those commutes to be delayed, I would say substantially, as road conditions, you know, with crews being out and everything, it's just still hard to keep up with it. And we're just off of what Danielle has been telling us, knowing that those commutes have already, you know, been at least lengthened in many spots. Very blustery, and those winds are giving us wind chills. They're reducing visibility. Let's get a quick look at our Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook and just kind of talk you through the next few days. So we've got winter storm warnings that continue through early tomorrow. We won't even make it out of the teens tomorrow, and that bitter cold air is really going to pack a punch as we enter into the first part of the weekend. We get that other really weak system early Saturday. We're talking 2 degrees, but some of you are going to end up below 0 as we kick off Saturday. Highs will end up in the 20s, 30s on Sunday, which will literally feel like beach weather after what we've had. And then it looks like, you know, Peyton, we're going to get a few days to just kind of take a breath, and we'll need it by then.
Yep, and we're getting through it together. Yep. And as the storm continues to move into your neighborhood, send us your pictures and videos, of course, as long as it is safe to do so. You can upload them to the WKYC app or text them to 216-344-3300 with your name and the city, and we might just use them on air or online.
All right, we still have a lot of snow to get through, so we're going to have team coverage for you all day. Hourly updates here on air. Tune in on our digital platforms because we're going to have those as well. We have our normal shows, 5, 6, 7, and 11. We mentioned all the people who are going to be covering it. Guess who else?
Me.
Danielle. She's the traffic guru. This is what happens when you're the one who's the expert at traffic.
That's right. Of course, coverage at WKYC.com and on our app. Please stay safe, everyone.